You can't be thin, successful, having sex, tan, in good shape, and sleeping well at the same time.
What have you learned about yourself during this time, and what has been the highlight for you over the past few months?
I value self-care very much. I value sleep. I don't exercise really very much at all, so that hasn't been great. But really trying to sleep as much as possible and make that such a priority. And I've now convinced myself that sleep is exercise. So I tell everybody that. No one seems to agree with me. So I'm going to continue to push that forward. But I wake up sweating sometimes in a cold sweat. So I think it's exercise. I've always been a place of yes person, meaning really just, I'm good in a crisis. So when things get crazy, I get stronger and tougher. So that's been, my business is doing extremely well. My brand is doing incredibly well because instead of being a deer in headlights, I didn't panic, and I just immediately started doing business differently and found my way in immediately.
Has turning 50 given you a new perspective on things?
I think turning 50, just you look at some clothes and you're like, do I need to be wearing that? It has nothing to do with your body or anything, but I prefer a one piece for the most part. I wear a bikini, but I prefer a one piece. I think you like more high quality clothing, and you're comfortable in your own skin, and just accepting where you are. I launched the Bethenny brand. I've never put my name on a product before. So that was years ago I had a baked goods company called Bethenny Bakes. But in this chapter of my life, I've never put my name on a product. So the sunglasses were a huge hit. I guess it's more of a women's brand versus a girl's brand. So that was a big change. My daughter produced a whole video for me that I ended up using for a brand on social media. So that was a pretty big deal because you just were using what you had. Your staff couldn't come in. It was a pandemic. So your daughter, who's 10, became your producer, videographer, stagehand.
Yeah. Well, we saw you on the beach in Miami. I mean, no exercise does you well. So you look fantastic.
Thank you. We all know, even if you're thin, it gets a little flabby, but I don't know. You can't be thin, successful, having sex, tan, in good shape, and sleeping well at the same time. If you know somebody who is, then tell them not to call me. I don't want to know who they are. So for me, I'm present with my daughter and getting a good night's sleep, and my business is doing well. So exercise will wait another 6 months until I really make it a priority.